In the sport of softball, the Gillies Shield is the highlight of the national calendar, where Australia's best female softballers represent their state or territory. It is the pinnacle of competition in the women's game. Today, you've got the best seat in the house as New South Wales and Queensland do battle for the sport's biggest prize at the Blacktown International Sports Park. Our coverage proudly presented by Softball Australia, the Australian Sports Commission and Softball BatterUp. Step up to the plate, go to softballbatterup.com.au.
Tremendous to have your company on Fox Sports right around Australia this afternoon on a glorious day in Sydney's west, not a cloud in the sky here at Blacktown International Sports Park. My name's Drew Forbes and welcome to the Australian Open's Women's Softball Championship. Also an historic occasion today too, as it marks the first time in over a decade that domestic Australian softball has been broadcast nationally. And we're joined now by lead commentator who's going to bring you all the action this afternoon, Justin Nelson. Justin, let me ask you, how excited are you to be here today, particularly for a tournament that goes all the way back to 1947?
Yeah, Drew, absolutely, and you touched on it in the opener. Fantastic weather, well done to Sydney, turned it on. It's been a great week, huge competition, and the best two teams have made it through, and that's the most important thing. We're going to see the New South Wales FIRESTARS, the Queensland Heat in action, and the Gillies Shield. They've won 17 each, so whoever wins today goes up one notch.
Absolutely, bragging rights on the line. You mentioned the Gillies Shield, of course, named after the great Mac Gilly. Also hugely important today, being a selection trial for the upcoming World Championships.
Yeah, it is. It's the last event that the national selectors get the chance to have a look at these players. Of course, the World Championships coming up in August in the Netherlands, and cream of the crop in this game. We've got some absolute beauties in action today, and I think the national selectors, they've got the job ahead of them.
They certainly do. There'll be plenty of talent on display this afternoon. Speaking of talent, earlier today the under-17s were in action in their final, and once again, Justin, a dominant display by New South Wales.
They were great, the under-17s. They went through the whole competition unbeaten, got through to the final, won 4-0 over Victoria. Well done to Victoria on getting there. They got through in a tiebreaker innings to come up against New South Wales, but again, the best team got through, won the title. Well done.
Well, we turn our attention now to the main event as we edge closer and closer to finding out who'll be crowned champions of the Australian Open's Women's Softball Championship. And there's certainly none better to ask than Olympian and former player herself, Fiona Crawford. Fiona, thank you so much for joining us. Describe the magnitude, the importance of this event here today and what it would mean to the players to take home the Gillies Shield.
Well, the Gillies Shield is really the pinnacle of our sport in this country. I think it stems back from the history, as you said earlier, stems all the way back to 1947, and these two teams that have made the final, New South Wales and Queensland, have got a fabulous rivalry which dates back way into the 60s. So they're certainly mates off the field, but they'll all be going for bragging rights for this one.
There's certainly a lot of pressure on the players who are about to take their places as we count down to the first pitch. What do you think the captains would be saying to their players before the first pitch, and what would the players be feeling?
Certainly there'll be some butterflies, that's absolutely the case. I think the captains would really be geeing these girls up, but they really wouldn't need all that much. I mean, this is the game that they all play for. It's the final of the Gillies Shield. They've trained long and hard for this, so softball's really the heptathlon of team sports. So they train to be agile, they train to be powerful, they train to be fast, they train to be strong, and they also have to perform under pressure, both offensively and defensively. It all comes down to the final though.
Which players from each team should we particularly pay close attention to this afternoon?
They're all tremendous athletes. I think certainly for the Heat though, I'd be looking at their catcher JODIE Bowering, ex-Olympian. She's a really consistent and solid performer, so certainly look out for JODIE behind the plate. They've got a fabulous pitching combination in Sandra Holden and Joss McCallum, so they offer a really good matchup there. For the New South Wales FIRESTARS, they've got some really great upcoming players coming through. Rachel Lack and Taylor Titsakronis in particular have had tremendous tournaments so far. I certainly don't think you can go past their captain though in Stacey Porter. She is an outstanding athlete and she is regarded as one of the best players to have ever played this game. She is a game changer.
Yes, certainly. There's sure to be plenty of game changers out there today. As we have a look at the two lineups, we'll start with the New South Wales FIRESTARS. And in the battery, it's Parnaby throwing to Titsakronis, Miller, McManus and Lack at the bases. Stacey Porter is the captain. She'll be at shortstop. Brooker, Poole and POBJIE in the outfield. The designated player is Ellen Roberts and they're coached by Kerry Porter. Earlier, I caught up with Stacey Porter and here are her thoughts leading into the match.
It's good to have the morning off and have a bit of a sleep in. It was an early get up for those Queenslanders this morning and take our time and relax a little bit today. But it's also nice to get a feel for the game, and I'm sure they would have had a tough outing against WA this morning. They come from behind. They had some good performances by a few of their players, so it's nice to get on a bit of a roll, but I'm hoping the advantage today is the sleep in.
Let's have a look at the Queensland Heat lineup now. And we've got Holden as the pitcher, although we do expect to see McCallum a little later on perhaps. Bowering is the captain, she'll play catcher. Weber, Weaver and Sorensen in the bases. Speakman, Blackman, Wall, Thrass, Stearns. Their coach is Fabian Barlow. And earlier we caught up with Jodie Bowering.
Look, we've been working really hard. It's a long season. It's 6 months of training, and this is what we're here for right now today. And we really want to bring the Gilly Shield home. We just missed out last year, and we do not want to repeat. So we're here to grab the shield today.
Well, we're not too far away now. Let's get down to business, and we'll start with the former Olympian. Fiona, what do you see as the key contributing factors to determining who wins this afternoon?
It's really whoever comes out of the gates the fastest and gets the runs on the board.
Justin, who's going to win and why?
Very hard to go past New South Wales. The FIRESTARS have been fantastic. I think 6-2.
Fiona?
New South Wales have just got too much form. I'm going for 4-zip.
All right, well, thank you to both of you, Fiona and Justin. And as they both make their way up to the commentary box, let's now take a look at the history of softball in Australia and this feature interview with Chet Gray.
The first official interstate softball carnival was held in 1947 and was organised by the president of Softball Queensland, Mac Gilly. And as a result, the competition now bears his name. Following the Atlanta Olympics in 1996, where Australia won a bronze medal, experts believed if Australia was to win a gold medal, a higher level of competition was needed and subsequently created. The first season of the Women's National League, otherwise known as the Gilly Shield and Australian Open Women's Championship, took place in 2007. This competition providing elite players from their respective state or territory with an opportunity to replicate the intense nature and demanding playing schedule of the World Championships. In recent seasons, Western Australia, the defending champion, has been dominant, winning 3 of the last 4 titles. It is Victoria, however, that has been the most successful at interstate competitions, winning 22 tournaments, followed by New South Wales and Queensland, equal with 17 championships. Softball participation is very much on the increase in Australia, and current Softball Australia's CEO, Chet Gray, also the former national coaching director, is a former baseball and softball player who grew up in California.
Well, I grew up like any normal USA kid out of California, wanting to play Little League Baseball in Williamsport in the grand final. Didn't quite make that one. However, I went on to play college at Cal Poly Pomona. Great coach there and a great program, which then gave me the opportunity to play a couple years in the minor leagues. I played for the Montreal Expos organization in the minor leagues, got as far as single A ball. Enjoyed the experience and then went in to coaching. So I had the opportunity to go back to my old college, and the coach actually invited me out to be one of the assistant coaches. So I did kind of my apprenticeship through the college system and then went on out on my own.
Chet Gray is a student of the game, and his passion is boundless in an effort to spread the gospel about softball. He says the uninitiated may be surprised with Australia's world standing in the game.
You know, that's a great story and probably one of the most unknown stories. Over the last 10 years, we've been ranked #1 in the world as a team sport, both our men and our women. Currently, all 4 of our national teams are ranked in the top 3. So Japan and the United States, with the population base and the softball that they play over there, can't even compare to that. With our population base, which is probably 1/8 of the rest of the world, we actually succeed very well. It's this thing about the Australian determination. It's in softball, it's in sports in general. but we've won a silver medal at the 2004 Athens Olympic Game with our women, and in recent times our men went from about 10th in the world, moved up the rankings over about a 10-year period, and they finished with a world championship in 2009. Our under-19 boys won 3 consecutive gold medals over the last 16 years, and our under-19 women have just finished with a bronze medal at the last World Championship. Pretty successful. I think we're probably one of the most successful team sports in this country, but people don't know about it.
And it's certainly a sport, softball, which does encourage kids to get involved.
Yes, one of our primary focuses right now is, getting back to the kids, getting them involved. We have a national recruitment program called Softball BATTERUP that we've had out there for the last couple years. That's our what I call our showpiece right now. We want to get it back to every kid. We just believe the game is such a fun and exciting, but it also builds self-esteem in individuals, especially the young kids.
It's a different sport, softball. It's probably one of those sports where not a lot of people have played it, but what do you find people's reactions are when they do play softball for the first time?
I was thinking about this a while back and what makes it all happen. I think with softball, we can play it anywhere, anytime, any place, in any ability. So I can take someone in a wheelchair, I can do indoor, I can do on the beach. Softball is such the modified situation. We can modify the game to suit any area, any place, any time, and any ability. On top of it, the game itself is unique because I think people get a kick out of striking the bat and the ball. That's the unique aspect of it. The first time a young kid hits the ball, they're so excited. The self-esteem, their confidence just builds. And I think that's the kicker. It's just put a bat on the ball.
One of softball's greatest strengths in the present era is the fact that the game is being played in many schools across Australia. And the game's chief executive is confident the code is making progress.
Yes, one of the things we've had a proud history of is softball's been in the school system, strong and successful in the school system for the past 50 years. But recently, like all sports in this country, there's been a decline in the participation of sports. And it's not just softball, and we felt it as well. I mean, all sports have been feeling it. But what we're trying to do now is reinventing ourselves, and we're driving membership, and we're starting to grow. We've got, as I say, our ducks all lined up, and we're now ready to move forward and actually take this sport to the next level. And to see more and more of it on the television, as well as seeing more and more people playing it over the next decade.
31 glorious degrees here this afternoon in Sydney at the Blacktown International Sports Park. Hello and welcome as we present the highlights of the Gillies Shield Grand Final, and we're straight into it with Stacey Porter getting set to lead the way for New South Wales. Good afternoon too to dual Olympian Fiona Crawford.
Good afternoon, Justin.
And what a player to have first up at bat, Stacey Porter.
She's, as I've said at the outset, an outstanding athlete and a tough batter to pitch to for Sandra Holden.
There's the first strike of the game. Michael Palmer also joining us in the commentary box today. No stranger to softball, of course. He's been around for years and years. Hello, Michael.
Yeah, Justin and Fiona, hello. Great day for it and a lovely piece out into left field.
Well, that's Stacey Porter's game all over. She is a cracking batter. Has a batting average of .564 in this event so far, and on-base average of .671, and that's what we've come to expect from her.
Interesting to see here whether coach Kerry Porter will put the bunt on Stacey McManus to move Stacey to second base.
McManus, good call. Straight away shaping up with the bunt. She scored 28 runs so far in this competition, McManus. Sandra Holden on the pitcher's mound, plenty of experience. Just inside with the ball.
And Fiona, as you were talking in the opener, obviously getting off to a good start is incredibly important. So New South Wales with a base runner on, potentially looking to bunt, get them into scoring position and get on the board.
Yep, absolutely critical that they move Stacey into a scoring position at second base.
Holden to McManus, and McManus bat on ball, and she's made first. There's an error there. I think Porter will be out though at second, and McManus continues to run in. Safe. Great work, Stacey McManus.
I think you might find there, Justin, that the catcher Jodie Bowering was caught possibly doing a bit of play watching there. Should have been backing up that throw at first base, which has allowed Stacey McManus to advance to second base. And whilst it may not seem much, extra bases are critical in preventing teams from scoring in a final at the Gillies Shield.
There's the dive and there's the call. So McManus safe at second. Rachel Lack steps to the plate.
And effectively New South Wales got the result they wanted. They had a runner on first trying to get it a second. It turned out it was the batter at second base. So the error was pretty costly, and New South Wales are still in the position they want to be, a runner at second and one out.
Fiona, tell us a little bit about Rachel Lack. She'll go very close to picking up the Rookie of the Year award, I think.
I think she'll go very close, Justin. She's a fantastic athlete, making her debut, as you said, in the Gillies Shield this year. And it's a quantum leap, to be honest, moving from the 19s programs to the senior competition, and she has done a sterling job in doing so.
And has a habit of getting on base. Her on-base average is 600, second only to Stacey Porter. There's a fly ball out to centre field and stepping underneath and taking the catch. Very, very well done out there. And McManus still on second. Jade Wall out at centre field, taking the catch. Another young gun for New South Wales, Taylor Titsakronis. Looks to have a very promising future.
Absolutely, Justin.
Holden picks it up easy out at first. Webber takes it, and that is it. New South Wales without a score in the first, and now we get the first chance to have a look at Queensland batting. Melinda Weaver first up for the Heat. Plenty of experience. Kaya Parnaby will be pitching for New South Wales. Melinda Weaver, 19 runs so far in this competition, and another player who gets on base regularly at 583. Played for the Aussie Spirit and won a bronze medal in 2012.
And what's also on offer with Melinda is she's got some wheels. So once she gets on base, she's a real threat to steal.
Weaver assessing. Having a look at Parnaby. Bat on ball. Straight through to Stacey Porter at shortstop and to Monique Miller at first, and out. Brings Carmel Sorensen up to bat. Parnaby winds up. Good start. Sorensen, another player that's represented Australia at senior level, has a look. There's the second strike. And a good start by Parnaby.
Yeah, one of the really key strategies in softball is to get the ball in play, and you'll see the hitters do it a lot of different ways. You know, they'll be trying to hit the ball as far as they can, but then a lot of times running bunts, slapping the ball, just trying to get it on the ground and beat it out, and it didn't quite work that time. But you'll see quite a bit of that as we go through the game, the batter just trying to make contact.
Sorensen trying to get things underway for the Queensland Heat. Ready to launch into it. And she does. Gets it out and through Porter out to left field. BREE Brooker picks up. And there's a single for Sorensen. She's on first base. Now we all know this player, Jodie Bowering. Very decorated career. 2013 best batter at this event. Also MVP in 2009 and again in 2013, Fiona.
Just fouled that one back to the back net. Jodie will certainly be looking to move Carmel at least to second base to get that runner in a scoring position to bring up Stacey Webber.
And Bowering's yet another Aussie representative in this game. All up amongst the two named teams. 21 players have played either senior and or junior representative softball for their country. That's an amazing number.
3 balls, 1 stop.
Bowering. Has Sorensen on first, and another foul ball.
That's where Kai Parnaby is so effective. She has a tremendous rise ball. When that ball coming up and in, particularly to a left-handed batter, it's very difficult to get out of the way, and you'll find that she'll get a lot of cheap strikes and batters just nicking the ball back to the back net.
Parnaby. And yet again, bat on ball for Bowering. One thing that's mentioned a lot with Kaya Parnaby is her variation, and that's what you're touching on, isn't it? She has fantastic variation.
She does, and particularly a left-hander. You know, there's very few of them, particularly in Australia. So she's tough to hit, particularly, 105 kilometres an hour. That's faster than what I drive around the street. So, that coming at that sort of pace, it's difficult to pick balls and strikes and then try and get bat on the ball.
Well, at the moment, Jodie Bowering is certainly getting bat on ball. And this time, a swing and a miss. So Jodie Bowering exits. And it's going to bring in Stacey Weber. Absolutely can hit a ball, Stacey Weber. 11 runs in this competition so far, 16 RBIs. And she is a powerful, powerful player at bat. Has a look at the first. Here's Weber. And she's cracked that one. That's gone a long, long, long way and over. What a great start for Queensland. Stacey Weber, all smiles as she rounds the bases. And what a terrific start for the Queensland Heat in this game. They are up and going. Stacey Weber cracking it over centre field, over the fence. Also gets Sorensen home. Here it is again. Look at the power behind that. Weber has launched it long and deep and over the fence. Great start.
Yeah, absolutely crushed it. And on the pitch before, they just missed up high for a strike, and then they came back down over the middle of the plate, just on the inside half, and she just turned on it and drove it out of the park.
Well, everyone expecting New South Wales to win, well, certainly start favourites. And Queensland have started in fantastic fashion, leading this one 2-0 thanks to Stacey Weber. Tara Speakman at bat at the moment. And all of a sudden, the pressure is firmly applied to the New South Wales FIRESTARS. What a great start. All smiles, Stacey Weber. And in fact, Drury Forbes has caught up with her right now. Let's go down and hear from Stacey Weber.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We're here in the Queensland dugout with home run hero Stacey Weber, first home run of the grand final. That was a massive one.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I saw it low and I just went with it. It's my favourite pitch, so just went with it and got a lucky hit. Yeah.
So, you must be pretty happy to get your team off to such a great start.
Yeah, it's early days yet. They're a really good team, so it's good to be on early.
Understandably very, very happy with her start, Stacey Weber. I like how she talked about a bit of luck, but gee, I tell you what, there was some class in that.
Didn't look like much luck to me. She got the pitch she wanted down and in, and absolutely hit it out of the ballpark. It was a fantastic start for Queensland.
Watching the highlights of the Gillies Shield, the grand final of the 2014 Women's Softball National Championship. And a great start by the Queensland Heat, and they're onto it again. Tara Speakman getting through, and gee, I tell you what, they haven't done too much wrong to start this game, have they? That might be Erin Thrass, actually. It is. Here's Tara Speakman stepping up. So Erin Thrass is safe at first, and an error by Stacey Porter, I think. We don't often see that out at shortstop, do we?
No, we don't. That was a hard ball to field, but I think Stacey would expect to field those. She will certainly make up for it here, no doubt about it.
And she does, as Tara Speakman is out at first, and that brings a close to the first innings. And Queensland lead this one with 2 runs in the first. Stacey Weber, the early hero for the Queensland Heat. And what a great start for the crowd too. That will certainly get them up and enthused in this one. Here we go with the top of the second, and Monique Miller at bat for the Fire Stars. They've got some work to do now, Michael.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, they're down by 2, obviously, early in the game, and Queensland looked really efficient in the batter's box there. You'll notice they were pulling a lot of balls, which means they're seeing them very well and very confident. New South Wales really need to step up now and make sure they get the right pitch, wait for it, and then hit it as hard as they can.
Here's Miller. She's hit it, and she's just got it through the gap. A nice single out to centre field. Jade Wall picks it up. And maybe that's the start for the Fire Stars to answer the challenge as we see BREE Brooker at bat. Another left-hander. The Fire Stars have got a couple of left-handers, haven't they?
They do have a couple of left-handers. Makes it much easier to drop a running bunt and get to first base, which is obviously what BREE Brooker is trying to do now.
Well, she did shape to bunt on that occasion. Brooker, let's see if she continues with that thought. Holden getting the signal. And there it is. There's the bunt. And, oh, another mistake. We've seen a couple of mistakes early, and I think we might see Brooker safe and Miller to third. Let's have a look at that again. Picked up, and there's the error. And all of a sudden, New South Wales are up and going. What a great game.
Well, we're here with Danica Howlett, battery coach and also an assistant coach with New South Wales. Not the ideal start.
No, not, but it's a 7-inning games and there's a long way to go. 21 outs and we've only done 3 of them, so it's always a challenge, and every team's going to have to battle right down to the last out of this game.
Spoken like a true coach. Alan Roberts now. Fantastic young player for the Fire Stars and gets bat on ball, but it's a foul. Terrific all-rounder, Alan Roberts, isn't she? She can do everything.
She can. She's had a few seasons over in the States, and she's really come back a much better and much more mature player.
And she gets on this one, out to Speakman, throw to Stacey Webber, out at first. So Alan Roberts steps up for the first time and departs.
Yeah, that ball chopped over to shortstop really made it impossible for either of the runners to move up. She would have been looking to try and move that to the right side of the infield, but a very good out for Queensland.
Brooker on second at the moment, Miller on third, Sam Poole at bat, and finds a piece of it first up. So real chance here for the Fire Stars to answer back. Queensland leading it 2-0. Great start in the first. There's a strike.
Sam will be looking to hit the ball deep into the outfield as a sacrifice fly to score those runners, but Sandra Holden will be looking to throw that ball down and make it difficult for Sam to do so.
Plenty of experience behind the arm of Sandra Holden. No doubt been in this position many, many times. Sam Poole with the question being asked of her at the moment, and a swing and a miss. And Sam Poole departs the scene. Still 2 players on base.
That's a big out for Sandra Holden. That's one of her strengths. She's just cool as a cucumber.
And she's having a good game so far. ASHLEE POBJIE is at bat. Brooker on second, Miller on third. POBJIE gets on base at 5:29. So she's no stranger to this environment. Low and away. Plenty of pressure now on ASHLEE POBJIE. So too Sandra Holden, and bat on ball. This should be an easy out. Weaver to Webber, out at first, and that brings a close to New South Wales' second inning. Queensland still have the upper advantage, Michael.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they obviously got the 2 runs, but the really impressive thing, I think, has been Sandra Holden pitching. Her control has been outstanding. When she's been pitching up, she's missed high, but when she's really wanted to hit the spots down low, she's been fantastic and really got some good ground balls, and is in control so far.
And mentored by one of the great pitching coaches in Kelly Hardy.
Jade Wall steps up for the Queensland heat. Terrific start. Wonderful, wonderful day out here at Blacktown. 31 degrees. You're watching the highlights of the 2014 Women's Softball National Championship. Of course, playing for the Gillies Shield. Both of these teams, as we said in the intro, have won 17 Gillies Shields each. So bragging rights up for grabs today. And is it fair to say, Fiona, no love lost between these two states?
Absolutely not. Everybody's got skin in the game. And that was a close one again at 105 clicks. That would hurt if it connects. But no, certainly these girls are going to leave nothing in the tank to win this game.
Jade Wall assessing her options. Kaya Parnaby waiting for the signal. Little nod of the head. Winds up and away she goes. And Wall straight through to Lack at third base. To Miller out at first. So the first one down for the Heat. Bottom of the second inning, but they have had a terrific start to this game as Kate Stearns steps to the plate. Great start, Parnaby. No doubt Kaya Parnaby will be being watched very closely by the national selectors here. Has been a part of that Aussie team before. Stearns with a foul ball, steps away, has a look. Parnaby again.
2 strikes.
Looking for the signal. Has Stearns on 2 strikes and just outside.
Really nice pitch that. I mean, she just tried to leave it on the outside of the plate, have the batter chase it. Now she comes back up and inside and gets her out.
That's smart catching by Taylor Titsakronis.
I think you got a crystal ball there, Michael.
Yeah.
You saw exactly what was coming, and it did. 2 down for the Heat, and Janice Blackman comes in. Can Parnaby finish this one early?
The real secret here to pitching, of course, is all about location. I mean, movement's important and pace is important, but if you can hit your spots and move the ball around in the strike zone, and that's what they're looking to do. You know, you'll see them pitch up. They don't mind if they miss up and close to the batter, and then the trick is to have great location down in the bottom of the strike zone. And so far, both pitchers have really done that.
And New South Wales, the FIRESTARS, do have some very, very talented pitchers at their disposal, don't they?
They do. They've got a lot of strength that's sitting on the bench. Kaya Parnaby, though, is doing a fabulous job on the mound here. Off to Japan after this series to play with one of the teams over in the Japanese league.
I think that's an amazing thing about women's softball in Australia. A lot of these players are very well known internationally, aren't they? Plying their trade many areas around the world. Parnaby just one of them. There's another ball. Janice Blackman trying to extend Queensland's lead. Has the full count. And there's a foul ball. So plenty of action early in this game, and don't the crowd love it? Good to see colour across the face. Or faces of many people sitting in the stands. They've got some voice. They know how important this game is to these two teams. And on that, Janice Blackman gets the walk to first. And that'll bring Melinda Weaver back out to bat for the second time. Straight onto it. And straight to Lack to first, and there's the third out. Bottom of the second. Queensland lead this one by 2 runs to 0. Let's take a break.